So here's the deal. The Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra was already a game changer in the sense that many regular folks who previously thought that large-sized tablets are only for specialized and power users like graphic designers realized that actually a larger tablet makes sense, and they ended up buying one, including myself. And I quickly realized that I can't ignore the bigger screen real estate. Plus with this tablet I can actually use the DeX mode directly on it without the need for a separate portable display or monitor. And that alone was a good reason to buy this tablet. But I've also complained that as an Android user, it just feels like I'm holding a giant phone, and that's not a good thing. It never felt like it truly belongs to this big of a tablet. I wanted something that's more refined and better suited for this size. Lo and behold, Samsung has pushed an update called Android 12L, which is specifically developed for larger devices. Yes, it's not just for tablets, but if you ask me, this is a step or two in the right direction. If you look at Apple, they also realized this issue and they worked on an OS made for iPads called iPadOS instead of having an iOS on tablets. And it worked quite well for them. So now we have kind of the same thing with the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. The question is, can this update completely replace the need for the DeX mode? So that's what I tried to find out. The first thing you'll notice is the addition of the taskbar. And that's probably the biggest part of this update, which will improve your multitasking and even navigating around to find different apps. So how exactly it works is that you get this taskbar with whatever shortcuts you already have on your home screen in the bottom row or the favorite apps. So basically, as soon as you open any apps, or for example, go to the settings, whatever I have on the bottom of the home screen, the favorite apps, becomes part of the taskbar, plus 2 of my recent apps. So if I now open another app, you can see that the previous open app shows up here. And as you notice, I went to the apps drawer to find what I wanted, but with this new feature, you can find all the apps here also from the taskbar. So there is no need to close your current app, whether you want to do multitasking or completely switch to another app. For me, it's still habitual and I still forget about this feature and either use the Edge panel or the apps menu or the apps drawer to find my app. But I'm sure I'll get used to this new one. It's not that it's completely new, because actually the taskbar in the DeX mode also has this feature where you can quickly find apps. So yeah, this taskbar looks almost like the taskbar you see in the DeX mode. The difference here is that instead of having to deal with the minimize, maximize, and the close buttons on the windows, you just have the regular navigational buttons, unless of course you've enabled the swipe gestures. One of the differences between this taskbar and the one in the DeX mode is that in there, the DeX mode, you can seemingly have the app shortcuts pinned to your taskbar by yourself, plus you can see more recent apps. But in here, you kind of have to have everything in the favorite apps to display them on the taskbar, which, by the way, 14 seems to be the limit here. That's the number of the apps you can add to the favorite apps of the home screen, which means that's exactly how many you'd get on the taskbar. But in the DeX mode, you can add more apps. But when you open a couple apps for multitasking and you always use those two together, you can easily pair them and add the pair to the taskbar. And of course, you can have a trio here too. Just throw another app into the view, arrange it however you like, and then add the trio into the taskbar. Here is a very cool feature that we now have with this new update. If I now swipe from either side of the screen with 2 fingers, I can activate the split screen on the spot, meaning I can quickly find another app to pair with the current open app and use the split view. This is really cool and I've already used it a couple times. It just makes things faster, but as if that wasn't cool enough, here's another one. No matter where I am, I can quickly turn that view, that page or that app into a pop-up view by simply swiping down from either top corners to wherever I want, depending on what size I want my pop-up view to be. However, these 2 features are disabled by default, so you're gonna have to go to the settings, advanced features, and then labs to turn them on individually. But I think enabling them is well worth it. The next update worth mentioning is that now you can see the name of the apps in the Edge panel. So currently, when you add any apps to the Edge panel, no names will show up, it's just the icon. And for whatever reason, you might want to make that view more accessible. So you can go to the edit and then in the menu of the Edge panel, just enable the show app names toggle. Onto yet another cool update, which a lot of people don't know. Now you can extract text from any images or screenshots. So for example, if I go to Ryan's Tech website and take a screenshot, I can immediately extract all text from this screenshot with the press of a button and then copy either the whole thing or just a portion of it and use it wherever I want. Honestly, that's such a great feature and I know I'll use it quite frequently. For example, maybe instead of sharing an entire screen with someone, you might want to share just a portion of the text inside. Now that's possible. And by the way, as I was playing around with the taskbar and its settings, I realized that I can even hide the recent apps. So if you don't like to see the recent apps, just go to the settings once more, then display, and then in the taskbar, disable the show recent apps option. And if for whatever reason you don't like the new taskbar at all, you can turn it off in the same place. But I like it very much, and I noticed ever since the update came out, I've been using the DeX mode less and less, whereas before that I used it more often. Even though essentially nothing fundamentally has changed, but these little changes are a great start, and in the future I would like to see improvements, especially with the file manager. And the DeX mode is still very useful as there are still great things about it. For example, you can hide the taskbar or even have more control over resizing windows like a laptop.